Garrett has a great saying, and I don't know where he got it from, but winners worry about winning, and losers worry about winners. So we're focused on ourselves in this locker room about what we need to do to get better each and every phase of this game and be ready for this week. We're not worried about he say, she say. What's
Okay. All right, Dak. All right. Let me remind everyone that Grugier-Hill is a Super Bowl winner, and Dak Prescott isn't. So Dak basically just called himself a loser. I want blood on Sunday. I want annihilation. I want evisceration. This Sunday in Big C. Let's go and make him choke. D penetration. Rhodes is here. I am Adrian Fedku. I'm pumped. It's Big D. It's Sunday. The season's on the line. The division's on the line. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Listen, I did not like what Grugier-Hill went out there and said, okay? It's not coming from Fletcher Cox. It's not coming from the big dogs in the room. It's not the smartest thing in the world. And to take it back, too, just a little soft. But guess what? At the end of the day, it's a divisional game. We're going to be pumped up for it anyway. Is it really going to make or break anything? I understand people think that there might be a little bit to hold on to if you're a Cowboy, and it might give them an extra little bit of juice. And when you're out there playing, no one's going to be thinking about the comments. It's all blood. It's all blood.
I could have done without it, but I'll tell you what
Yeah.
Dakota just said, complete idiocy. To call himself a loser, to actually take advice from Jason Garrett. Carrot Top himself, just complete stupidity.
Yeah, no, that's what makes it funny is, come on. Like, I understand, but Jason Garrett is coming out with the quote that says, winners focus on winners. Like, you're a loser. You're a loser. It's unbelievable, but whatever keeps the locker room sane.
Yeah, whatever floats their boat there in Dallas. All right, so let's get into this game. And the first thing I want to get into, man, let's get into the Eagles offense. Looks better the last 2 weeks. First winning streak of the season. Feeding Josh Adams the ball. So what are your thoughts on Josh Adams here, man?
Keep it going, baby. Keep it going. It's funny because he looks like this big back, but once he gets the wheels going, he's going. He even makes some really nice lateral moves I see, too. I love it. Just keep feeding him.
Yeah. Just keep that balance. And it's really opening up the entire offense. So the offensive line is playing a lot better. They're establishing the rhythm with the running game. Josh Adams getting 20-plus carries a game the last 2 weeks. Averaged 4.3, I think it was, yards per carry last week. So what's happening is not only is he getting a consistent diet, not only is the offense opening up, but when the fourth quarter came around last week, he was able to churn some clock as well. And that was an area of weakness earlier on in the season. So these weaknesses that are starting to be fixed. Even the first quarter scoring. He scored a touchdown on the opening drive. So all these positive signs, and you're getting it at the right time here, heading into Sunday's matchup.
Yeah, no, I want to say before we really dissect this, it's not, in my opinion, it's not, the Eagles are definitely going to win. It's going to be a close-ass game where both teams are literally fighting to the end. And it could go either way, in my opinion. It's not definitely Eagles. But if the Eagles want to be successful, I think, there's a couple things. And running the ball is one of them. I think I want to attack Van Der Esch. I'm not afraid of him. We need to just attack him and be ballsy with it. I'm fine with it. Because if you try and go sideline, he's going to make those plays. Let's go right up the tackles and let's make it happen. I want to attack him in the box. I'm not afraid of him. Is that ballsy of me to say?
Well, that's what you have to do to win. Because they're fourth in the NFL in rush defense. But if you look like last week and you look at how the Saints are and how they play football, their offense actually caters to what Dallas does defensively. So Leighton Vander Esch, Jalen Smith going sideline to sideline, using that athleticism, the way that they play, it fits. So Alvin Kamara, I think it was 11 carries for 36 yards. He did nothing.
Yep, right.
Did absolutely nothing. But Josh Adams is a guy that likes to go downhill. And the Eagles, if they keep running the split zone, if they keep running the inside zone, which they've been doing very, very effectively the last 2 weeks with Josh Adams, even against the Redskins front, that's pretty damn good. I mean, Leighton Vander Esch, his big weakness coming out of college, getting off blocks, getting downhill in the running game. You can kind of hide that with some of the talent that you have in Dallas, like that outside weak side linebacker spot. You can kind of let them roam a little bit, but you get them going downhill, you run right at them. That's how you beat them, and that's how the Eagles need to run the ball Sunday. That's where the game is going to be won and lost, in my opinion.
Yep.
If the Eagles establish that running game going downhill against these Cowboys linebackers, that's what's going to open up everything, because as we've seen the last 2 weeks, it's been balance. Balance has been the key. Balance was the key last year, and it's been the key again in this winning streak.
Yeah, what concerns me a little bit is if we do start running the ball and it starts to get stopped maybe early on, are we going to see Doug maybe get a little pass happy? But my only counter with that is I'm not afraid of their cornerbacks. I mean, I know running the ball is what opens up our entire playbook to get those bigger chunk plays that we've seen lately, so we can't get too crazy. But I'm afraid with Doug Peterson, if he notices the run is getting stopped, I really hope he doesn't pull away from it too early and get pass happy, because we know he can do that.
Yeah. In terms of like passer rating allowed, hold on. I got the stats in my preview. Let's see if I can pull it up, because Dallas's run defense is exceptional. Their pass defense, in terms of the yards, it's pretty good. Let's see.
But I feel like the only reason why we've been so effective with the passing game is because our running game has been efficient, you know? So it kind of goes hand in hand with each other. If we're just passing it every single time because we can't find a run game, we're back to where we've been with unsuccessful trips of being on the football field offensively.
Yeah. So here's the pass defense stats, and a lot of people like to use, yards per game when they look at this type of stuff. I'm not really one of those people, because if you look at the yards per game allowed, they're at 227, which is 7 out of 32. But when you look at passer rating allowed, it's 95.4, which is 18th out of 32 teams. So 227 yards per game allowed. Why is that number so low? Well, if you look at how Dallas plays, they like to limit the possessions. They like to run the ball with Ezekiel Elliott. The less possessions in a game, that means less yardage in terms of throwing the football. So you look at that passer rating allowed, and you look at those numbers, well, it's just an average pass defense. Now, they can be exploited potentially if you're able to limit DeMarcus Lawrence and you're able to limit that pass rush. Byron Jones is a stud. I love Byron Jones. I think he might take out Alshon Jeffrey in this game. We'll see about that. But the other guys, I mean, you might be able to attack them, but I don't know how much of a threat these Eagles receivers really pose at this point. Aguilar's like, okay, we'll see. Golden Tate's starting to get implemented more. He's going to be the key on Sunday because he's the Cowboys killer.
Yeah. No, I think I said this in my preview. I think the trenches on both sides is the answer. And if we can have our offensive line and see Jason Kelce blocking a linebacker and a safety at the same time for Darren Sproles and keep Carson upright, we should be able to be effective in this game. And that goes on both sides of the trenches too. We can obviously attack them with our D-line because their offensive line has not been the same as what we've been hearing they have been all year.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they're missing Travis Frederick, obviously.
Yep.
And Dak Prescott, his issue, while he's been better with Amari Cooper at his disposal, fumbling the ball, still prompt sacks.
Jim Schwartz scares me. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how much I have faith in this dude, because I think there's just going to be a picket fence defense that we're going to see on a 3rd and 15, and it's going to be a screen pass where you see 5 guys run up and try and make the tackle, and Zeke still gets the first, and I see it coming. I see it coming.
Well, another one of those weaknesses, fourth quarter defense in the second half the last 2 weeks. I know, it's the Giants and it's the Redskins, but last 2 weeks, I think it was 56 yards in the second half against the Giants, 36 yards in the second half against the Redskins. So maybe, just maybe, they're starting to figure some things out. But what it is, it's some deeper penetration from the defense.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fletcher Cox. Deep penetration. What do you think Big D stands for?
Let's go. I can't wait. Did I hear something about maybe Michael Bennett's foot being hurt and him not practicing today? I hope that's not something serious. I hope that's more like a veteran just getting a day off before a big game kind of thing. I would assume it's to that extent.
You see a lot of that, especially this late in the season. The Patriots are known to do that. But they list Tom Brady questionable like every Friday. They do it. I don't know if they still do that. But when I was at the Sports Network, and we did injury reports, they would always do that. He was always questionable.
Yeah. No, I know you mentioned you mentioned the Giants and their offense and compared to the Cowboys just a couple minutes ago. It's funny because when you think about weapons, the Giants are more scary and lethal when you think about weapons with Odell and Barkley, and we did a fine job stopping them compared to a Amari Cooper and Azeez. I don't know. I mean, it's they're both good. Don't get me wrong, but you talked about the Giants and their offense and how we stopped them in the fourth quarter. Although we had a terrible head coach and Pat Shurmur decide to pull their back. But Jason Garrett is very capable of making some boneheaded decisions like that
absolutely.
too,
man. We might see a lot of stupidity in this game from both sides. We'll see.
Yeah.
Doug's been getting himself together, though, the last couple of weeks. So
yeah, there was a couple of things that I would like to see him get cleaned up on. No one liked that 3rd and 4 in the first quarter with Darren Sproles trying to hit that gap. And then people were upset with the 4th and goal line play. The only thing I'm upset with, we were actually texting during that play. The only thing I'm upset with on that was taking Zach Ertz out just tells everybody that we're running. There was no, I don't know. There was nothing to confuse the defense on that. It was just too obvious.
Honestly, my thought, I didn't hate it at all. I had nothing wrong with it because
you said you wanted him to just pound it.
Yeah, I said before, I texted you. I was like, if they run the ball here, I'm not going to hate it. And they ran the ball, so they did what I wanted. I mean, like when it's one of those cases, man. When it works, and you love it. When it doesn't, you're going to question it.
I can't believe that there were people who actually considered kicking the field goal there. No matter what head coach you are, you don't need to. You on 4th at the goal line, dude. You're trying to punch that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, field goal is not an option there.
No. I mean, it was what was the score at that point?
Was it 7-0 or 7-3?
7-3?
Yeah, I forget off the top of my head, honestly. But regardless, it's about the Cowboys week. We got a little sidetracked.
Anyway, I've got some nuggets here about the Cowboys passing game. So from my preview, if you want to check out my preview, phillyinfluencer.com, check it out. So Dallas, they've won 4 in a row. Amari Cooper, since coming over. So they've increased their scoring average from 17.5 points a game to 21.4. They've improved their 3rd down conversion rate from 32% to 39%. And that 3rd down rate, they went from being 29th in the NFL to 17th. And then these stats for Dak Prescott. So over his first 6 games, averaged just 190 passing yards per game to go with 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, completion percentage of 61.9%. But over his last 6, 5 have been with Cooper. Prescott has completed 70.9% of his passes, averaging 255 yards per game and 7 touchdowns. Go with just 1 pick. Yards per attempt have gone up as well, improving from 6.69 yards per pass attempt to 7.93. So obviously having a weapon in Amari Cooper, that's going to make you better. And as we've seen, the numbers have improved for Dak Prescott.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, we've never said Amari Cooper was bad. That wasn't the argument. The argument was, is he worth a 1st-round pick? Yeah. That was the argument. We all outraged on it, and it's still a little hefty, but there's no doubt
if they don't win the NFC East, it's going to look stupid.
Yeah, right. No, and it was never questioning him as a talent. He obviously helps and improves any team. We wanted him. We wanted him for a 2nd-round pick.
Yeah.
The argument was, what was he worth? So, we're going to have to stop. What's going to bother me, and I think I told you this before, but if he ends up torching LeBlanc or Sullivan, and we hear those Dallas Cowboy fans, look at him, he's worth. Yeah, guess what? That's like me being out there, with all due respect. And I know it's coming. Although LeBlanc's been holding his own. I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite.
LeBlanc's actually, he's like, considering the situation and the circuit,
right,
he's actually played very admirably. So Cooper, his stats ever since he's come over, 30 balls for 424 yards, 3 touchdowns for Dallas. So
but guess what? 2 of those on Thanksgiving, dude. What was the Redskins doing? 3 guys converging in and missing a tackle.
That's the thing. It's like so a lot of those yards in that game came from just woeful tackling.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. But no, I think if we attempt, we'll say that, if we attempt to stop Zeke and make Dak have to throw and beat us, that's the game plan. We just have to hold Zeke to a respectful game because he's going to get his. There's going to be times. What we can't do is fall asleep like we did against Adrian Peterson on one play. That can't happen. That's unacceptable. So stuff like that has to go. And on first and second downs, if he's gaining 5-6 yards, we're going to be in trouble. If we got to hold them to a 3rd and 8, a 3rd and 9, a 3rd and 7, those type of situations, and we can put us in a spot to maybe make them punt it. But if he's getting chunk plays 5, 6, 7 yards on first and second down, we're going to be in trouble.
Well, here's the thing about Ezekiel Elliott. So you brought it up. 151 yards and a touchdown, 19 carries against the Eagles last month. So you got to shut him down. The Eagles are allowing 5 yards per carry to opposing running backs, 29th out of 32 teams. So there's been this big myth all year long. Now it's not a myth anymore because it's finally been exposed. But they've been a really bad run defense all year. The yards per game allowed was low because a lot of teams were throwing the ball earlier in the season. But now you're running it and you're throwing it, and this Eagles defense still not stopping the run. Although the last 2 weeks they did it in the second half. So, that's the case because Adrian Peterson, you allowed the 90-yard touchdown run, but besides that, only 8 carries for 8 yards. So if they can do something like that again, well, not that you want to allow a big touchdown run to Ezekiel Elliott, but just shutting him down. I mean, you shut down AP besides that one run.
Yeah. And one thing that's big for me heading into this game is we got to do what we did last game and get on the board early. We can't see a first quarter that gets shut out, a second quarter. We need to get hot and roll with it. Because if we go down 7-0 and our offense goes 3 and out 3 times in the first half and we're just starting sluggish, it's not going to be an effective way to start this game. We got to find a way to get even if we get our first drive, get a couple, maybe 3 first downs, and we don't score. We don't get on the board, but we get a couple first downs and we have to punt. That's fine. We can't go 3 and out consistently for the first 2-3 drives. Then I'm going to be a little upset because their defense is going to get rowdy and get that place going because their defense is elite. I mean, it is.
Yeah, I'd say them and Chicago, 2 best defenses in the league right now.
Yeah, I know. And I'm not afraid of their offense, though. I know Zeke is powerful, but I'm not.
No. 13 points last week.
I always laugh at that, but guess what? We scored 7 against the Saints.
Hey, listen. That was the worst game of Carson Wentz's career. Dak probably played, I don't know, arguably the best game of his career against
with 2 fumbles and an interception.
2 fumbles and an interception and a miss to Michael Gallup. So that just shows, the awfulness of Dak Prescott. Right?
Yeah, no, I agree. But guess what? Our defense is so banged up.
Yeah.
They've been playing fine though. You know what? I was listening. I ripped Jim Schwartz and I disagree with some of the things he does, but one of the reporters came on.
We definitely disagree on Jim Schwartz.
I know. Well, this is going to back you up because I forget which Eagle insider it was, but he was on The Fanatic today, and he said if any other defensive coordinator had to deal with what we were dealing with this year, it would be 50 times worse. 50 times worse because Jim Schwartz is knowledgeable enough, and I say that very loosely, to be able to make it work on your 5th, 6th, 7th string corners.
You hate that picket defense.
I despise it. Like to accept a penalty and push it back to 3rd and 30, so it's a 57-yard field goal, and then play picket fence defense to allow it to be a 38. Why even accept the damn penalty? Like I don't understand it. Put me in there. Put me in there, coach. Blitz. Oh, man, Broach is pulling the blitz a lot, huh?
Blitzing more this year. Hasn't worked.
You're right. We're not going to be able to – well, people are calling the blitz this weekend to make Dak uncomfortable.
It's about the front 4, man.
I know. I'm with you.
His scheme is predicated on that defensive line. He usually gets the most out of his defensive line. It hasn't happened this year. It's been happening the last 2 weeks. That's why he looks better. So when the scheme works, that's what it is. Like that's his corners. It's always going to be off coverage. It's always going to be like that. It's
off.
Frustrating. It's extraordinarily frustrating. But hey, I mean, the guy did win a Super Bowl last year. We forget about that.
Yeah, allowing 500 yards. Anyway,
not in those other games though.
Yeah, no, I'm just being a you know what. But no, yeah, I just overall when I think about this game, it's going to be fun. I wouldn't want it any other way. I'll say that. This is great. I mean, this is why sports is beautiful. You accept the rivalries when it's when it's common and there's no people going overboard. You accept the rivalry for what it is. You embrace the people going back and forth and arguing. And this is for a division lead. How much better could it possibly get?
Oh my god!
To win, but yeah,
dude, it's crazy. It's crazy that they got back in it. I mean, considering where they were a couple of weeks ago, and they're literally right back in the thick of things because even in the whole playoff race, they're in it. All right, so I want to talk about Carson Wentz now.
Okay, can I do one thing real quick before we do that?
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned them back in the thick of things, and I've mentioned this before, but I am very disappointed on where this team is as a whole of a season, and they put themselves in this position. And I'm not saying that's okay, but they put themselves in this position. I'm upset about it. But a couple of weeks ago, they had two options: lay down and die and say, you know what, it's not our year. We just won a Super Bowl. Or they believe in that locker room and they come out and do what they need to do. And they went in that direction. So I'm proud of them for that, because it was easy to lay down and die a couple of weeks ago and say, you know what, we just won the Super Bowl. They didn't do that. They're giving us meaningful football through week 14 now?
Yeah.
They're giving us football that matters. I'm pissed they put us in this position, but they didn't die. Carson Wentz, hit me.
Well, if you want to look at it from a positive standpoint, if you'd like to, the playoffs started 2 weeks ago. And if they keep winning and they keep advancing in the playoffs, they're going to be so hot by the time they actually get into it, the real thing, that you are going to be a threat. And that's what the hope is at this point. The hope is that you get as hot as the Giants were in 2007 or 2011, and you go and you do the unthinkable again. That's what you're looking for at this point.
I was never a believer of the wild card, but we are fully in the thick of things of the wild card still. It's crazy, but we really are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I could be wrong, but I think the Panthers play the Vikings. Two teams, or the Seattle Seahawks. There's a team that we need to lose that are both playing each other, sadly, this weekend, I'm pretty sure. So
Seattle plays Minnesota on Monday night. And
okay, yeah.
So after this game, Minnesota really doesn't play anybody. And Minnesota, you can kind of see, is kind of like turning the corner a little bit. And then Seattle is definitely turning the corner.
I think I would root for Seattle in this position to kill Minnesota. No?
Well, I don't think Minnesota really plays anybody, but I guess so.
I'm just thinking because I already see Seattle as a team that's probably going to lock that first seed. So if they're already going to do that anyway,
I think the way to get in is the NFC East. I think the NFC playoff picture looks better than it actually is. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I got. So what you're saying? The only way to get in is the division?
That's obviously I think that's the most likely way. But
really, I mean, dude, the Panthers are 6-6 and they're downhill. There's
the Vikings. The Panthers are out, but it's the Vikings in Seattle, and the Vikings. Well, actually, the Vikings. It doesn't matter about the tiebreaker because they have a tie. But after Seattle, they play Miami at home, at Detroit, Chicago at home. So Chicago is going to be tough.
I think the Lions could probably beat them too. They're not playing good football at all.
The Lions
squeak out these random ass wins. They beat the Patriots. They just squeeze out these random wins.
But I don't think the way the Vikings I know they just lost to the Patriots. I don't know. They look like they're getting better defensively. I think. Yeah,
I just think that we're still more involved than I ever expected to be once we were 4-6 or whatever.
I'm just being realistic here.
I'm with you.
That schedule is cupcake city compared to what the Eagles have.
If we were to win it, it would be we were tied with someone and somehow won a tiebreaker. We'd be 9-7 and or whatever, 8-8 and somehow win on a tiebreaker. I don't know.
Seattle here, it's all right. So if they lose to Minnesota, they go to 7-6. Then you go to San Francisco. You play Kansas City at home, and then Cardinals is an easy win to close.
That's what Green Bay said. Talk to Josh Rosen, baby.
Listen, Green Bay stinks. Okay,
that was unbelievable.
Besides Aaron Rodgers, they stink.
Dude, this is why I lose money when I bet, because if I was still a betting man, I'm on a 2-week break due to my bank account. I would have put all my money line Green Bay. I mean, without a doubt, I would have put all my money line. Easy lock. I wouldn't have even watched. I would have watched the Kardashians and be like, I just made $500.
Well, good thing
ridiculous. You did. Yeah, that's why I took a 2-week break.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's funny how that works in betting,
It is. It's ridiculous.
All right, so
go ahead, Carson.
Let's talk about Carson. Yeah, let's talk about Carson. So I did a film study earlier today with Brennan. If you guys want to check it out, we talked about Carson Wentz and his mechanics and his footwork and how it's kind of off at the moment. He was 27 of 39 for 306 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Redskins. So the numbers look absolutely like outstanding. They usually don't win when he throws over 300 yards, but the offensive line was so good in this game that I think that's really what opened it up more than anything for Carson, because all year he's been having to evade defenders in the backfield and having to elude rushers. And that's the other thing about this game. It was like he's been rushed so much this year that he was speeding himself up in this game. So the rush, like, even though it wasn't there, he was like playing like it was there.
Well, I was going to say, do you think he was so just so accustomed to the fact he's used to having to be rushed, he's like uncomfortable with the time in the pocket kind of thing?
He's trying to get the ball out because he's worried about like the rush instead of worrying about his feet. And that's
I will say this week you're getting a little bit more of a pass rush than we've seen in the last couple. So it's yeah. But no, Carson, I criticized him harshly after the game, and then after 2 days of sitting on it, was I a little too harsh? But I wasn't. I don't think I was. There were times where he, was just not locking in and not focusing enough and not setting his feet, like you say, and he's overthrowing these receivers. But you know what I love? I love the fact that we have a quarterback that throws over 300 yards with 2 touchdowns, and we're pissed off about it. That's how you know you got the guy. That's how you know. Hey, you were phenomenal, but you missed 3 passes, and we're pissed off about it. But other than that, you were great. That's good feeling, though.
That's the standard you have for a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, no, I agree. What I do like, though, is the 4th down that we got stopped on. Okay, we got stopped. We came back and scored. The interception play, it was horrendous, and I know we mentioned it might have got tipped. Well, regardless, it was horrendous. The next drive, bang. Put it in the end zone.
Intangibles!
The responses, man, like, it's there. But he needs to be amazing. He can't be missing those guys this week if we want to attack this defense.
The reason why I'm harsh, it was the fucking Redskins. It was the fucking Giants. Well, the Giants, you played well, okay? So I'll give you that. But it was the Redskins, okay? I know the defense is good, but this is Dallas now. This is the Rams now. This is Houston now. We need you now more than ever, Carson. That's why I'm harsh.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think he knows it. I don't think he's sitting there thinking, damn, I had a great game. He knows. He is literally a learner of the game, a student of the game. He loves it. He's probably watching film right now, I bet, or he's watching us, but he's probably watching film. And he knows he needs to be better, and he needs to hit those passes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he didn't make plays in that game. He had that backyard play to Golden Tate. That was awesome.
That was so great. That was so great. Was it? Hey,
it was Carson Wentz, man.
Popped it right in there. And then even the first touchdown, he was running. He pulled a little stop with his right foot, dime to the back of the end zone. There was greatness in there too. There was.
It was in there.
But yeah, so what are your predictions on this? Like, how do you feel? Scale of 1 to 10. What's your comfortable level watching this game, or is there no comfort?
I think I'm feeling more comfortable in a win than a lot of people are. Like,
I agree. I think it's there. If we play our game, it's there, and it's not that we can't play it.
I am like, let them gas up the Cowboys. Gas them up. Gas them up. That's why I hated the comments from Grugier-Hill. I wanted Dallas to come in here thinking that they were hot shit and then to just beat the living hell out of them. That's what I wanted to do.
It's still going to happen, I promise. The Vegas line, speaking of the big betting man that I am, went from -4 to -3 Cowboys. That means the public's going birds, baby. Yep. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, when that line was released, I'm like, yep, that's an Eagles line.
It's an Eagles line.
It's an Eagles line.
But a lot of Cowboys fans calling in today and say, you know why it's a Cowboys or it's an Eagles line? Because the Cowboys just don't score and they always win by 3, so they just know it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, don't even.
Okay. All right,
don't even. I can't wait to see Darren Sproles lower the shoulder and knock Van Der Esch down for an 80-yarder. That's a little ridiculous. I was thinking of Derrick Henry last night. I just got pumped.
I faced someone who had him on the bench. Now I can't.
Oh yeah, I saw that tweet.
I can't blame you for having him on the bench. But
I know.
That's in the Sports Fury League. Are you familiar with Sports Fury? The guys on YouTube?
Oh yeah, I don't know him personally, but I know that he's a big fan of you in Philly and all that.
Yeah, so like that's like the Sports Fury League. So hopefully got to take care of business there. Got to. So.
But yeah, no. Overall, it's possible. I think it's a flip of the coin. Both teams are going to show their best, and it's going to be a good old-fashioned rivalry. Come down to the wire. Maybe a field goal wins it on either side. But I think both teams are going to be prepared, ready to play, and just hopefully the Eagles are on top. But it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a very entertaining game, I would say. I'm hoping.
The key to me is Josh Adams. The key to me is running downhill. And I'll know by the end of the first quarter if the Eagles are going to win or not. If that run game's going downhill and they're running it effectively, they're going to win the game. If they're not, they're going to lose the game. That's the way it's going to go. Because if you're running downhill effectively, that's what's going to open up everything.
Yeah, we can. I mean, I'm not afraid of Van Der Esch. Like I said, if you want to go sideline to sideline and play that game,
I'm afraid of him going downhill.
Yeah, and I said that in my preview. You should see the amount of Cowboys fans saying, "Are you stupid? You want Van Der Esch? Won't give you Van Der Esch. Attack him all you want." Well, there's a way to do it effectively. You know his strengths, man.
When you take on a block, you're supposed to use your hands. Van Der Esch, he puts his shoulder into people. He's fundamentally flawed going downhill. I love him.
No, he's a great player.
Fundamentally flawed when he's going downhill.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be great. Our offensive line has been playing very successfully. Do we know anything about Jason Peters due to that ankle injury at the end of the game? Do we know anything?
I know that Doug said he was day-to-day.
Okay.
I'm going to guess he's probably questionable on this injury report. Let me see if I can pull up the injury report.
Yeah, because that looked like a pretty brutal ankle twist there at the end of that game.
I know that Jalen Mills has been ruled out.
Yeah.
And
Jordan Hicks. I don't know why I said Josh Hicks. Jordan Hicks.
You were thinking of Josh Adams.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Whenever Jordan Hicks is out.
When you mess up, that's where you go to. Just Go Birds.
Yeah.
All right, so
we got a couple linebackers playing with one hand. So it pissed me off too about the Grugier-Hill is, dude, you missed that pick 6 in the first game on Sunday Night Football, and I was at the top of the link. My face was so red. Was I screaming? I remember I looked at Jim Schwartz and I flipped him the bird, and he saw me. I said, Jim, I gave it to him. I know he heard me.
So here's the injury report. Michael Bennett is questionable. Timmy Jernigan is questionable. Avonte Maddox is questionable. There's no Jason Peters on here, so he's playing.
Cool. Love it. Wait, who was the other one that you just mentioned? Yeah, I heard something about Mailata might get the ball in the third down back.
We'll see.
I'm kidding. I can't wait for the day, though.
I wouldn't expect any of that till like next year.
Hey, I heard a good call today, actually. What do you think about this game maybe being one where we need that special play? Whether I'm not saying Philly special worthy, but there's got to be that special teams touchdown or something, that punt return touchdown. There needs to be that play in this game that brings us to the W, but not to win it at the end, but throughout the 4 quarters. That one play where we haven't gotten it yet, or the pick 6, something has to happen energy wise for this team to be able to put a nice little boost on it.
If Doug Peterson wants vindication for Darren Sproles, punt return touchdown.
That's what I'm thinking. That was the first thing that crossed my mind, was maybe a Darren Sproles tutty, or even if he brings us down to the 3.
And there he goes! Scooting down the sideline.
Let's go. Lowers his shoulder right into Van Der Esch. Drops him. I can't wait. I'm pumped, dude. It's going to be fun. It's the beauty of sports. It's the beauty of sports, man. It really is. This is what you live for. It's Duke UNC.
My prediction, I got 24-20. That's my pick.
Okay, yeah, I'd go somewhere similar to that. I think we're going to have a tough time scoring points, and are we going to hold that offense? I mean, if the Saints, who have a bad defense statistically, are only allowing 13 points, you got to think they're probably scoring somewhere from 13 to 17 points on us. It's, can we score in the 20s? Even if they score 20 points on us, can we score over 20? Can we score 23, 25, 20?
Here's how I'll counter with the Saints holding them to 13. Saints lead the NFL in rush defense. Eagles are like one of the worst.
Yeah, fair.
Stopping Zeke, it's gonna be tough. I got Zeke having like over 100, Yeah. No,
I agree. 180 yards from scrimmage, like that.
I mean, watch. You'll probably be right. They'll probably score like 6 points. The Eagles will win this going away, 37-6 or something.
Yeah, I said 48-7. How great would that be? 48-7.
The other way around.
Let's go. That'd be great. That'd be great. But yeah, I'm excited, man. It's going to be fun. I'm pumped. It's Red Sox, Yankees. It's Duke, UNC. It's Eagles, Cowboys. It's Michigan, Ohio State. It's one of those.
Yeah.
So you got to embrace it. Win or lose, you got to embrace it.
You got a final score? You got a score for us?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go. What did you say? Because I'm about to say.
Yeah, I said 24-20.
Okay, I was thinking somewhere along the lines of 23-20 or 20 to 16. I don't know how something. Yeah, I don't know, something like that.
That's definitely
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
Are you a fan of Doug going for 2 on that play in the touchdown to go up 9 instead of 8?
I wouldn't have done it personally, but if that's what he wants to do, whatever.
It just makes no sense to me to not go up 8. You got to trust your defense to stop Mark Sanchez to go down and score and get the touch.
If that's the Rams, I like it.
Yes, agreed. It's the fact that if you miss that 2-point conversion and Mark Sanchez does happen to go down and score a touchdown, an extra point instead of a 2-point conversion is a game changer.
Yeah.
But we've seen him do that before against the Giants. I just didn't know what he thought about it. Personally, I didn't like it against the Redskins.
Yeah, I mean, like, if I'm a guy that's like been, because like what's his name? Tomlin's been starting to do that the last couple of years in Pittsburgh, going for 2. And I've started loving that. And now I'm seeing like Doug do it. I like it. I didn't like that particular situation, but I do like, the aggression going for 2 because the Eagles have that offensive line that should be able to create running holes and running lanes. They should be able to get these 2-point conversions most of the time. That's what happens.
Well, Tomlin goes for it like every play. Not every play, but he goes for it a lot because he thinks, if we don't make it this time, we make it next. It's the same as the extra point. But I personally have been like not studying it insanely, but I've been looking when, say it's the second quarter and you score a touchdown and you can go for 2 to tie it, or you just kick the extra point to stay down 1, and you go for 2 and you don't get it. Every time you do that 1 point really does sneak up on you crazily. I'm all on board on just kicking that extra point, staying down 1, and letting that 1 point come back and maybe win you the game on a field goal later on or something.
Yeah, here's like the way I look at that. If you're playing like if you're a high scoring team and you're playing another high scoring team, I would be more prominent for going for 2. If it's like you got 2 good defenses going at it, you don't want to go for 2.
Yeah, it's situationally. You got to look at it differently.
The points are more precious.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's common sense in a way.
Yeah, no doubt. I was just curious on your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good conversation. It's a good topic. We got to get you out of here, though.
I do.
You got till 6:40 or 6:45?
6:45.
Okay. All right, so we got time for your final thoughts.
Yes. Jerry's final thoughts. Jerry Springer, classic. I think we're gonna win.
Okay. That took a lot. That took
there was no pumped up version of that. Huh? All right, let's try this again.
That was a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety there.
All right. We're going up against a good defense that's playing hot right now, but I think this team knows and understands their situation right now. They're prepared. They know they have the leadership, Chris Long, Fletcher Cox. This team's going to be prepared to go in there and give us 190%. And win or lose, I know they're going to give us everything they possibly have. It's not going to be a letdown. If they just put out every inch of sweat into this football game, I'll let the results speak for themselves. But, as a fan, I'm going to say the Eagles are going to be able to do it. I have a confidence that they can possibly win this game.
Okay. All right. Well, my final thought is this. So, on Monday after the game, I said that the Eagles are 87.3% back.
Yes, I heard that.
Well, we're going to be 100% back after Sunday because Press Taylor, Doug Peterson, hell, even Mike Groh, they're in the film room. They're out in the practice field. They're fixing up Carson Wentz's footwork. They're going to get all the kinks figured out. Carson Wentz is going to go down to Big D, and he's going to go kick some fucking ass. That's what he's going to do. So here we go. Here we go. We're out of here. That's Broads. I'm Fed Q. Peace.